I'm Dave. Anybody? Go ahead. Shoot.
Okay. How you doing, Jorge? Dave, Fight Bananas. You know, you've been on the other side of it. How does it feel, Game Bred Fighting Championship? Now you're on this side of it, the promotion side of the mixed martial arts.
Amazing. Since we got into it, me, Dean, and the guys over at First Round Management, we had one thing clear, that we want to bring a lot of exposure to the fighters. Everything that I have, I want to be able to bring it to the fighters, get as much eyeballs on them, and get as paid as much. This is our first event, but we're going to throw on, I think, 6 more events this year, and we're just going to keep increasing the money for these fighters, and that's what we're trying to do, man. Get these fighters paid and put on action fights.
Right, unbelievable. You started the backyard, Kimbo. We know how much he means to you. The evolution. 20 years ago now, it's 2021. How does it feel to be the star, be the name in bare knuckle right now?
I freaking love it, man. I love the scrap, so to have anything, my name being tied so high with Kimbo in the bare knuckle scrapping, it's just amazing. I got lucky that day that Kimbo asked me to go to that backyard, so I want these guys to get lucky. I want somebody to catch their break, go out there, get their 5 seconds of fame, knock somebody out in a devastating fashion, and change their life. So I just, I love it, man. It's a great feeling.
Unbelievable. 2 more quick ones from you guys. All the fighters here, they had so much respect for you. They inspired to be like, how does that make you feel as still, competing at the highest level, and all these guys look up to you?
Well, they don't have to say it. I don't have to say it. We know what we put in the grind. I know what it takes for these guys to be here. They know what I've been doing my whole career, so it's mutual respect. We don't even have to say it. I can tell by just looking at them, and they look at me. We've both been through the same grind. We know what it takes to get to that level, so it's like an unspoken agreement of what's up, man. You're a badass. What's up?
Unbelievable. Last one, you personally, 2021, do you think you'll be back in the octagon?
Yeah.
And 3 quick names for you. Leon, Nick, or Nate?
All of the above. Whoever's available October, November when I'm coming back, that's who's head I'm taking off. Whoever it is.
Appreciate you, my man.
Chris from Kingstar, Chris James. You've done everything in the fight game. You started out in the backyard, now you're in the UFC, you've been all over. But this is your first trip into being a promoter. So what have you learned on the backside, behind the scenes now, that you maybe like or don't like about having to be the promoter?
I never say that on air, man. I haven't even too much sauce. Giving out all the secrets, man. But definitely one thing I can say is I've been a fighter my whole life. It's my trade, right? So I just want to make it right for the fighters. I know where I would get pissed off, and a lot of times with promotions coming up on the way to the UFC, and there's a lot of unfair things that they do to fighters. We're looking to change that. We're looking to make sure that fighters are like, man, I'm going to fight for this dude because of this, and this, So that's something definitely we'll be addressing every show from here on out.
That's awesome. And, you were standing there, again, as a promoter behind the fighters where they're facing off normally, you're standing there and Dana White's standing over, looking over you. I watched you a couple times looking at these guys' eyes. What do you see in these kids that are coming out here to fight tomorrow night?
Oh, you see the fire in their eyes, So some of them are a little dormant until they get in front of their opponent, and then you see that, you can feel that energy, and I love it. I know it's about to happen, so I love it, man. When 2 guys are ready to go and they lock eyes, it's impressive, you can feel that tension.
So, on Dave's question, he asked about Nick, Nate, and Leon. A lot of people out there really want to see the Leon fight because of the whole 3-piece and the soda, and that really, just brought you to life that night. So is there an order, or does it matter?
That doesn't matter who it is. Whoever's in the top 5 available in November, October, that's who's head I'm coming after you.
And let me ask you too, Leon and Nate just fought. What did you think of that fight, the performance from both of those guys?
It was a good fight, good performance. I thought Leon does what he does, and he keeps asking for more money, more things, but he's not a finisher, he's not a fighter. He was winning happily, and he wasn't willing to put himself in the risk to go out there and get those finishes. That's why I don't think he's in the position that he wants to be. He's not going out there and fighting every second of every minute. So he's a very skilled guy, but he just doesn't have that grit in him, that meanness in him to go out there and beat up a top contender the way you should.
Yeah, and you said August, I believe, is the next Game Bred fight. How many events do you plan on getting in before the end of the year?
6.
6 total.
6 more
So
the end of this year.
So 7 altogether.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. And Mexico and any place else that we know?
The next one is in Marcelo.
Mayo Riviera.
Mayo Riviera. 20 minutes of Tulum, all inclusive. We're gonna take care of the fighters, man. It's all you go. After they're done fighting, But for the camps, it's all you could eat, all you could drink. It's gonna be a very nice resort. It's 20 minutes off Cancun, nice beach resort. So we're gonna throw on some sick fights and just woo and wow everybody that shows up.
What would it have meant to you to have somebody like you and Dean who's helping you out have that same attitude that you have now about helping these guys out when you got into this game? How much would it have meant to you to have guys like yourselves promoting fights?
Oh, definitely would have helped me. There wasn't good promotions when I was coming up, but more often than not, usually the promotions weren't the best, you know. So I definitely would have fought for myself and Team Tool.
Yeah, and the other thing with Dean Tool, can you defend his ankle pick?
No, it's unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Facts.
Yeah.
Quick question. Scott Johnson with Fight Bananas. Is there a particular fight that you're looking forward to on this card?
All of them. All of them. I mean, we got a preview of this about 6 weeks ago. We had some good bare knuckle fights, and there wasn't one decision. Everything went to a finish in under 5 minutes. It was just action-packed from the moment it started to the finish. And those guys weren't pros. So every single fight, I'll be sitting there watching, not talking to nobody, not being on my phone or nothing.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
Hey, I just want to say thank you, bro. For
Yes,
real.
sir.
Appreciate you doing this platform. I promise you.
Are you looking forward to somebody throwing the knee, your infamous knee?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm looking at somebody to come out there and break that record tomorrow. I want somebody to go out there and get famous for off violence, you know. People put in work, I want them to get the exposure and hurt people, you know, have fun, do what you love to do.
So here's a question one of the fighters asking out there, and they asked me because I'm announcing and I don't know. Are we doing bonuses and a fight night bonus or a knockout bonus tomorrow night?
We have a cryptocurrency sponsor, and they are paying $5,000 for both winners or the fight of the night.
Yeah.
So if you're in the fight of the night, both guys will get a $5,000 ledger, and a ledger with $5,000 worth of Bitcoin.
We work day and night for these deals so we can take care of the fight. You know? And that's what we mean. We want to pay them. You know, we want to pay them as much as possible without obviously bankrupting ourselves. And sponsors like this, connections that we have, help put money into the fighter's pocket and still keep the promotion alive.
So I was looking at some of the
And a
sponsors.
knockout bonus. So
And
there's
a knockout
total of
bonus.
$15,000
So there'll be
in Bitcoin total.
2 people get
Two
fighting
people will
night,
get $5,000, and one person will get $5,000 for knockout of the night.
and it's cryptocurrency,
In
the wave of the
cryptocurrency.
future.
And how you know how that works?
Yep.
Next week, that 5,000 could be 15,000. So
Could be 50. Some of the other sponsors, Sheath is the one everybody's been having a good time with because Sheath has the incredible new underwear where the cojones are separated from the wiener. Have you tried these things on yet yourself?
Not yet. I have not had the pleasure. I think I got a couple
Christian.
in the mail.
Give us your recommendation. Tell Ori how good those underwear
They
are.
work really good.
I got some in the mail, I think, so I'm
They're really good for the women too, because if your balls get sweaty, your wiener stays in the other hole and it stays nice and clean, dry.
There you go.
Changing the future.
You got a lot of sponsors here. How easy was it for you guys to get sponsors to come in and really support this?
It's not easy, but it's what we do. You know, each one of these sponsors I got in front of their face and said, hey, I'm doing this. I need money for the show. I want to be able to take care of the fighters. We want to put on a good show for everybody. And that's what I did, you know, and that's what we're only going to do. This is now. The next one's going to be bigger. That means the purse is going to be bigger. We're going to keep attracting more and more talent and taking care of them, you know. And by taking care, I mean paying.
Yeah.
We're trying to as much as we can.
And one more thing for me before anybody else. So some of the fighters are still in here. They're coaching the teams. What would be the message that you want to send to these guys about being here for this and what they need to do tomorrow night to make their mark in this world?
Go out there and leave your mark. It's simple. You've already done everything you had to do to get to this point. Now you go out there and perform. Go through that door, you know, leave everything behind you. And just do what you've been preparing for, what you've been getting ready for. That's it. Everything will do itself. Everything will fall into place. The exposure will be there. The knockouts will be freaking amazing, so people will be talking about it. I mean, somebody can go from unknown to like very well known very fast in this sport, you know?
Yeah, and I think I can speak for everybody in this room. You just don't want to say thank you. I mean, you know, this is an awesome again, you're bringing back, you know, I was talking with Dale Lambert outside, and he goes, you know, from where you came from the backyard fighting you and Kimbo and doing all that stuff, and now the reincarnation of this sport, but sanctioned, you know, professional sport now, that wouldn't have happened if guys like you and Kimbo didn't do it. So, you know, thank you from all of us, and thank you for involving us all. We appreciate it.
For putting me on.
Would you be interested in getting Kimbo's son, Baby Slice, on the card?
Oh, yeah.
He's actually pretty good,
Oh,
right?
and by the way,
We freaking love to have
he wants to come. He chatted with me on Facebook the other day, and he said, he goes, when he's done with Bellator, he said he's coming to Bare Knuckle and he wants to come fight for your show. He messaged me, he's ready.
And real quick, this event took about 3 weeks. We did all of this in about 3 weeks. No bullshit. From speaking to John Lewis to helping us put this together. So shout out to John. That was huge. And then to do all of this in 3 weeks, and 90% of these people took this fight on 3-week notice. Some people took it on 2 days notice, a week's notice. So shout out to all the fighters that did that. We did this event so we could have B-roll to promote these events in the future. The purses will go up. The sponsors will get bigger. Everything will get bigger from here on out. So we want to say thank you to everybody who was involved in that.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all give it up one more time for Mr. Game Bread himself, Jorge Masvidal. And also give it up for Dean Tool, man, because Dean and Jorge doing the job. Clap your hands for Dean, bro. Come on, Dean. Don't make me get up out this chair.